This webinar is being recorded.
Hello everyone. We are expecting a few more people to join, so we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. So yeah, please hold on with this. Hello everyone. Very good afternoon to everyone joined here. So happy to see all the business owners, accounting professionals, and also other finance team members in a single place. Thank you so much for attending this event, firstly. And I would like to invite our Keshav sir to give us the welcome note before we start the webinar. And, yes, I'm just. Over to you, Keshav sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Venkat, has highlight why we are as on today. So basically, I just want to highlight why Zoho we are teaching in, we are educating a lot of business owners and accountant. Why Zoho is very fruitful to their organization. I'll try to explain this with two examples, with two real-time stories which we came across during our professional journey. So I'll take an example for a small business with 15, 20 employees, and they are having a business across 5 locations, and they are facing a lot of challenges like they have to maintain accounting at 5 different places. Okay, and don't have basically user access. Like a lot of people are having different kind of access. Like one access is given to everyone. So once invoices has been created or any entry has been passed, someone is editing, but no one is taking responsibilities. Okay, and because of that, no, what is happening? So we are not able to find out who has created that issue, and we are not able to find out what is the solution for that. Okay, and sometimes what is happening in those organization, invoices are being generated, like some of the invoices, no, monthly basis we have to keep on raising every month, but in similar kind of nature, or maybe same kind of amount or similar kind of nature of items and all. So that creates lot of issues every time we are raising the same invoice. That is the manual headache and all. Okay, and what will happen, no, sometimes these business organization, they create some kind of different kind of pricing, promotion and all, while doing festival session or some kind of new year celebration or something like that. So these kind of challenges they were facing. So what we figured out, that when we try to provide them with the solution with the Zoho, we find out that these can be solved with easily with Zoho ecosystem. So basically what we have done, so in every user, we have provided one user access, everyone, single user access. So if someone is entering any data, okay, so no one can change it. If anyone is changing the data, so audit log is getting created, and after that we can check who has done that like changes and all. So because of that, no, lot of issues they were facing in GST reconciliation. Suppose we have raised an invoice for 1 lakh rupees with GST and all. Okay, later on that amount got changed to 90,000. So it will create a lot of challenges with e-invoice because it will not match the data and all. But what will happen with the change the data? So it will create like GST data, what we are uploading on GST portal, it will not match with the e-invoice data, what is already uploaded on GST ecosystem. Okay. Now that problem we have resolved with the user access. Every user was given different access. Now with the location in the Zoho ecosystem, so what will happen? No, in the legacy system, in the same domain, we have to create separate kind of user access and all. So in this case, no, at one dashboard, we can look into, we can enter at one place all the 6 locations ka data we can capture at one place itself. Like you have to raise the invoice or we have to put some expenses and all, it can be done easily. Okay, related to financial pricing and finished good pricing and all at the promotional level. So every time what they were doing, that they were editing the pricing of the products at the time of promotional event. Every time they are doing one by one, and it was creating huge headache for them. So in Zoho ecosystem, what we can do is we can just upload the pricing in one shot, okay, and automatically the selling price gets means updated in the system. And when we are raising the invoices as per the promotional offer, it captures the price what we have decided at during that period of time. So this and apart from that, related to run the invoices which is getting in recurring nature. So what we have done is basically in Zoho ecosystem there is some features called where we can put it on autopilot mode, that every day on a particular day some kind of invoice will get generated automatically, although it will be draft stage. You have to confirm before sending it to client. This is about the small business which we come across in the how we have solved the problem with the small business owners. And apart from that, like everyone knows that it is cloud-based accounting software. It is not desktop-based. So anyone can access everywhere. In fact, you can access in your mobile, you can access at your laptop or desktop or anywhere through the net access. Okay, I'll take an example of a larger organization where employees are more than 30 and they are having 25, 30 or maybe beyond that turnover and all. So they are having different set of challenges. Now they organization are pretty big. Okay, so they're having multiple team like sales team, purchase team, inventory, accounting, everything, and they were using different sort of modules for them. Like they were using accounting, they are using one software. For CRM, they are using one type of software. For payroll management, they are using some other software. For HRMS, they are maintaining separate state of software. So what was the challenging? No, so if like I'll take an example of say sales part, like O2C part, where suppose we have got we have generated we got some lead from some source. Okay, we have updated in CRM, then it gets converted to sales order, it gets converted to invoice as well. But what is happening, since CRM is not integrated with our accounting system, so what is happening? So whatever data is captured in CRM, again we have to pitch in, enter all those data manually in the accounting system. Similarly, same data for since inventory is maintained in different, because that accounting system is not feasible to maintain everything in, means inventory is not getting maintained properly in that accounting system. So they have taken separate software for that. Okay. So in that, again, they are manually entering those data that inventory has got reduced. So it was, and further, like for payroll, for people, similar kind of issues were there. So one entry, they have to pass multiple places. And what was the challenge over there? So every month end or periodic basis, they have to reconcile their books from one department to another department. So that was creating huge headache for them. Okay. Then basically, in this case, no large organization, so there will be maker chair concept. Suppose I'll take an example of banking domain. So everyone would have come across this scenario. Like if you are depositing some, you have gone to bank to withdraw some money, cash withdrawal basically. So if you'll give a check to one cashier, what he will tell it to us, wait for 1 minute or 2 minutes, our manager is approving. What does it mean? Basically, we are creating a maker checker concept. So someone entering the data in system and someone is approving it. Similarly, in Zoho ecosystem, this kind of workflow, I'm giving one example. There are many other features which will be very fruitful to the larger organization as well. So like some person, one accountant is entering the invoice data, he is putting some prices and all, and someone above his hierarchy that we can decide within the organization that he has to approve that. Automatically notification goes to him that so and so invoice has been generated, whether it has to be approved at that particular price or not. So this is another example. Now, in that case, another challenge is they were facing that all the approvals, like from day-to-day activities, either one expense or any kind of pricing of any product or anything related to any day-to-day operation. So everything has to go to the owner for approval. So his life was miserable and he was stuck with the day-to-day operations itself. And he was not able to focus on the growth story. Like he has to pitch in the new product or what kind of strategy he can adopt. So this is the basic understanding which I want to give about the Zoho, okay? Because it is fully integrated. Like there are 45 to 50 modules which can talk to each other, and you don't have to bother about that. We have to reconcile manually from one department to another department. Now coming to why ProLead. So ProLead is basically, we are almost 15 years, almost 15 years, we are having in the presence in the consultancy in the account audit domain. So we have been working with a lot of clients and we were figuring out all the challenges. Now, since we are a accounting consulting firm, so we know, and most of our partners are chartered accountant, we know how it works for any organization. Before suggesting them any product or any software, we just understand their business, how it works, how is the workflows getting generated. We don't say that you implement Zoho or you implement some XYZ software or something like that. Okay, we just need to check what kind of problems they are facing, what kind of pain points they are facing. Then we try to understand their problem. Then we try to integrate in the Zoho. So it helps their problem. It helps them in resolving the issues and all. Thank you. Back to Venkat.
Thank you. Thank you for a very informative and also example-oriented and realistic welcome note, sir. On that welcome note, I would like to move forward with the session or the webinar. The first and foremost thing that I would like to address to most of us is, see, what is the one thing that you can confidently say after this month end? So basically, now that we are in the month end, how many of us here in today's webinar would actually be 100% sure about their numbers? Not many of us, right? I mean, including myself too. There are certain, there are certain things that I'm not very 100% confident about, where I'm not concrete about the numbers. It's not something to do with the way that your finance team is positioned. It's not something to do with their day-to-day activities. It's rather something to do and to actually reflect upon the systems that you have built. I would like to say that we are mostly carrying forward our activities of accounting or day-to-day operations based on a routine that was set years old, right? A company can be setting a particular set of operations during their inception, but the same set of operations and modus operandi can't hold good when they are scaling up, right? This is the exact gap or the exact abridgment that Zoho is here to pitch in and solve your issues for. As you can all see towards the left side of the screen, when you're having an accounting software which is only for the purpose of feeding in numbers, you will have many issues like manual reconciliation and every compliance, be it GST, TDS, or any concern, any compliance for that matter. You have to keep doing certain workings outside your accounting software, or rather spend a particular resource, deploy them for a particular number of time to do this reconciliation and to get your office or finance team up to speed. And if you're a business owner, on the other hand, you will never have the clear picture and you'll never get to say that 100% confidently that my numbers are right for the month. You'll never have that visibility towards the numbers. On the other hand, let's imagine a scenario where Zoho Books is deployed for your businesses. You will get GSTR filings within one click. And we are not just lying about it. We are going to demonstrate that in live webinar, as in how the one-click ready reports for GST and one-click filing is actually possible, right? And you also have certain other advanced features such as real-time bank feed, and real-time banking reconciliation. And at any point of time, you have access to your own business numbers, and you can actually be 100% sure at not just on month ends, on any given point of time, and track all the activities in real time. That is how integrated and well equipped Zoho is. So by the end of this session, everyone who is attending this session, we would intend you to look at Zoho or Zoho Books rather in a way that it's a solution. It's a one-stop solution for all the operations that your business or your company or you as a finance team is undertaking. It's not just an accounting software, or it's not just a tool for a particular purpose. Rather, when integrated with a bigger picture, as Keshav sir mentioned earlier, into the Zoho ecosystem, there's a lot of problems that at once you can counter and look at Zoho as a one-stop solution. Moving forward, we would see that there are many aspects that we would actually see today. That is, why do you have to prefer Zoho Books? And we'll see it from the view of three lenses, that is three main stakeholders. That is the business owner, finance team, as well as the auditors, who are the three main stakeholders to any accounting software. And we will see how Zoho is actually leveraging AI technology and bringing in effectiveness to all these three stakeholders. We will definitely have live walkthroughs. Me and my colleagues have prepared certain walkthroughs in the real time for using Zoho Books exclusively for the webinar. And we will also see how interested people can actually transcend and make a move from existing accounting software to Zoho. We're all going to wrap that into a beautiful capsule of 50 to 60 minutes. And my humble request is to hold all your questions until the end of your session, so that we have a separate Q&A session, which is following at the end of the session, where you can actually lodge in all your questions and we are going to be answering one at a time. Moving forward, we would also say that business case in three numbers. This actually is a real-time comparison numbers, where you can say that banking reconciliation, GSTR, and real-time position are the key turnarounds that Zoho is actually promising you at all point of time. When I say about banking reconciliation, you don't have the error of omission, you will not have error of missing out any entries, and you will not have to deploy another Excel worksheet to run around and complete your banking reconciliation. We'll bring about this and also have a small live demo in the upcoming slides to actually justify what we are speaking here. And also, as I discussed earlier, one-click GSTR reports and 24/7 visibility. These are all capable when there is an ecosystem and a tool which actually talks to one another and actually also enables governance plus visibility at the same time. Going forward, we'll also have to understand one root cause for as in why businesses are actually having this need to move from an entire own legacy system that they have been following for years together, and they're instantaneously moving from a particular legacy system to Zoho. There should be strong grounding reasons to do so, right? As I said earlier, what was the last time that we actually visited our standard operating procedure, or probably an approval mechanism, or probably a system that is entirely there in your company? It would be, I'm assuming it will be at least months together, right? So in today's day and age, in the involvement of AI technology and also seamless and smart integration, there naturally is a need for many businesses to move from legacy system to Zoho. Zoho Books being the most advanced and technologically forward, or I would say technologically advanced accounting software, actually solves a lot of problems. As you can see, we have any compliance related cycle or any e-voice related mandates. They're all integrated with the respective portals. On the other hand, to also have a problem, to also have a proper configurational mix with your existing office or finance team, they support both hybrid and on-premises finance team. Earlier, legacy system used to have one particular system in which the whole software is loaded, and that becomes the only source of truth, becoming the only on-prem system. Now, with the cloud-based accounting software like Zoho, you can break the stereotypes and do accounting, classification, recording, report fetching, anything from any point of time, from any point of world. And it brings about connected operations. When we talk about connected operation, it's not just the way how your finance team is individually performing, right? There are certain other layer of operations, compliance, as well as reporting that is interlinked to the way that your finance team is actually progressing. And with Zoho, all the communication between these internal departments are very seamless. You will actually notice about that in the upcoming live demos. And these are just the pointers as in why there is actually a need for you to shift from an existing software to a new or an advanced software, right? As I said earlier, we would be looking at the whole Zoho platform from three lenses. That is, you have the lens of a business owner, a lens of a finance team, and also a lens of an advisor. According to me, these three group of people are the most important stakeholder when it comes to an accounting software or a reporting software. We will have separate segments where we are talking about how Zoho is adding value to each of this perspective or through each of this stakeholder. And moving forward, we will also learn what are the features that stand out from other legacy systems. Yeah, now with no further ado, I would like to give a walkthrough about how Zoho is actually impacting the accounting and reporting function from the owner's lens. So let's imagine this, and let's actually take a step back and imagine if you were a business owner, if you need certain reports to be on your desk by 9 p.m. or probably after the working standard stipulated working hours, maybe 7 or 8 p.m. The most of the response that you would get is either it would be a delayed report coming to your report at a later point of time, or an unclosed or an uncompleted report which actually doesn't show you the exact standings, right? And you would also always be ambiguous about the business position. At some point of time, if some person is actually walking into a store or asking you what is the receivable as on day, you actually start to check up your recent business snapshots or books of accounts or many things, right? Actually, Zoho is a smart tool which actually helps you bridge that gap and give you unlimited access and timely access to all the reports at any point of the time during the day. It also actually eradicates the whole point of a single person driven systems, and it connects all the other systems so well that it is actually not person driven and it is actually process driven. The second most important layer, I think, as Keshav sir already said, when there is a concept of maker and checker, which we do follow in most of the businesses, the approval and the consistent following for approval, or also actually on staying on top of all the things, actually requires you to open your laptop or go back to your office in some cases, log into the on-premises system, then approve using a click of a button. But with the implementation of Zoho, approvals, scanning through reports, having your numbers up to date on any point of time, it's all can happen within a click of a button inside the palm of your hand. They already have developed mobile applications for Zoho Books, where any owner or any decision maker can just install the application in his own phone and have it in his own pocket and always stay on top of the things as in what is happening with respect to his business. In the next slide, we'll have a small demo about how actually the Zoho Books mobile apps would function and how the interface would actually look like. I think, yeah.
What Zoho Books mobile application would look like in the hands of a business owner. All I did was just click on the mobile application and I can see the exact amount of receivable and payable as on date and all the updates in my mobile phone. right from upload of bank statement and to receivables and the invoices that is pending as of today. Creating dashboards, customizing your invoice, recording of expense, and much more just at the palm of your hand. This is what Zoho Books mobile application can provide, and the capabilities double up when it is used on the desktop application.
Yes, as you can see, that is just a small recording of myself actually taking the Zoho app on my phone and actually examining through the features that is available. Now we have seen what is the value addition to a business owner. Now it is time that we step on to the next segment. That is, as we discussed, how is Zoho Books actually beneficial to the finance team? Or once Zoho Books is implemented within a premises, how is an accounting or a finance team actually being benefited by it? This part is the rather most interesting part in the whole module of Zoho Books because reconciliation. Many reconciliation with respect to GST or banking or any reconciliation with your AR, AP functions are always tending to be a clumsier task or a cluster of operation which is very complex. Any person to be on top of these things would actually require an approver or a senior person actually reviewing it at some time and also still end up making certain errors of omissions and errors of actually miscalculations and stuff. With Zoho, actually we can say with an involvement of technological layer and an AI layer in the Zoho Books, this reconciliation and the process of actually matching the transaction has become very automated and seamlessly easy. We would like to show you a small live demo within the Zoho Books module for this particular banking module right now. As you can see, I have my screen right now and I'm going to my Zoho Books. This is the Zoho Books application and this is how the dashboard will actually look like once logging in. Out of many modules that is available towards the left, I would like to direct your attention towards the banking module, right? So this is the banking module. Banking module has a lot of technologically advanced features and capabilities that actually most of the legacy system in the market lack at this point of time. There are actually three main ways with which your banking module can integrate with your bank accounts. Rather, I would say the Zoho Books get integrated with your bank accounts. The first and foremost way is to fetch the bank statements from your mail inbox. Most of you would be aware of the practice that bankers sending your daily digest banking statements or day-to-day banking statements to a registered mail ID. Upon enabling this particular option, Zoho Books would actually directly fetch the day-to-day statement from your mailbox to Zoho Books application, that is into your accounting software. This is one leg of it. And the second aspect of how you do it is actually adding your bank debit or credit card using a direct feed system. The direct feed system per se is the most seamless way of integrating your bank accounts. And as you can see, currently there are these banking players who have enabled this bank feed operations. Obviously, Zoho is working in the backend to onboard more banking players in the upcoming days. But as of now, let's say that you have been banking with State Bank of India. All that you need to do is agree to the terms and conditions and provide certain approvals in the backend. Then your bank feed is instantaneously connected with your Zoho Books or books of accounts. That means to say, the moment there is a debit or credit entry in my bank account, the moment that entry is reflected in the bank statement, it instantaneously reflects in my bank account, which is ready to be classified or accounted. There is no timing difference gaps or there is no periodicity gaps and there is no omission of any entries in this particular point. It all happens instantaneously within fraction of seconds. The third most important way or the most easiest way I would say to onboard your statements into Zoho is actually by the way of importing the statement. As you can see, I've already pre-selected the statement for this demo purpose. I'm adding and uploading this using my desktop. You can see the bank name is already been mapped by Zoho system. You have to agree to the terms and conditions and click on import. While it is importing, I would like to say this account statement comprises of around 195 to 200 line items of entry. And there you go. As we are speaking, within fraction of seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, Zoho Books has completely imported all the transaction. I'm assuming close to 190 transactions into the accounting software, readily available for accounting. You have everything right from your statement details, timestamp, and the type of debit or credit and involved in front of within seconds. This is just one leg or one aspect of the Zoho Books banking capability, guys. The second aspect of it actually starts when you think about the accounting layer of it. Say, for example, I have a 500 rupees receipt which my cursor is currently pointing at. It is as on 2nd of August, and this is a deposit which is coming into my account. In order to account this particular entry, in the other legacy systems, you should actually log in, create a voucher, and maybe probably post this entry manually. But in Zoho Books, all that you need to do is a click of a button. You click a button, and the AI is actually matching the possible matches for a particular invoice against this particular entry and prompting that to me in front of the screen. And all that you need to do, all that you need to do to actually select and account this particular entry is to click on match. Yes, and that's it. The accounting for this particular entry is already done. I can actually show you that in the invoice module. When under the sales module, again under the invoice module, you have a pre-made invoice for 500 rupees, which was the cause of the reflection. I had already created this invoice. You can see that the payment against this particular invoice has been marked paid. And you can also see that the accounting entry is already passed by the system. That is how seamlessly easy that is to do accounting and banking based accounting with Zoho is, guys. This is just probably the one leg of accounting where I'm exploring the options about accounts receivables. We would also do the same process or have a same demo about accounts payable or probably an invoice which I would like to pay at this point of time. As you can all see, I have an entry for 445 rupees, which is a bill that I need to pay that has come in from Swiggy's point of view, right? Where I particularly, again, after clicking on this particular entry, using the amounts, it's actually fetching me the transaction which can possibly be a better match to this particular transaction, right? Again, all that I need to do is click on match. The particular payment entry against this bill is already been made. Again, we can go to the bills module under the purchase, where I have already created this Swiggy demo invoice, and you can see that the payment has already been marked, and this particular invoice is being marked as paid. So that's how interesting actually Zoho Books is taking, and that's how the efficiency that Zoho Books is actually bringing to the table once deployed to any accounting team for any business owner. As you can lively see in front of your eyes, the reconciliation which actually used to take hours and hours before, now it's been wrapped within minutes. And the accounting that is underlying is also completed in the same version. The second one is actually GST. We actually mentioned GST in quite a few times. Actually, Keshav sir mentioned it during its welcome note, and now also throughout the presentation, I've been mentioning that GST is already ready and GST would be readily available for integration. I would like to give you a small demo again in the GST filing aspect of things, where again, let's go to the home and see this is the dashboard of the same organization that we were seeing earlier. Before going to the filing and compliance module or the GST module, let's look at the sales module first, right? And you have certain list of invoices where you can see, there are certain invoices which I have raised for this particular year, a particular month or particular period, right? And as you can all see, this is reflecting this month's invoices. And in the same way under purchases, we also have certain bills that has been raised for these particular month. These are all again accounted within the ecosystem of Zoho Books. There is nothing that I have done earlier to configure anything here. All that I need to do during the time of GST compliance is go to the compliance module, click on the GST filing module. You can see that it's already integrated with my GSTN portal and see that GSTR 3B is identified to be unfiled. At this point, all that I need to do is view the summary, which is again a click of a button, which is again system generated. Your summary is actually ready for this particular month. As you can see, it's ready for the month of July, right? This is the 3B summary that it is generated. All that I need to do is push this to the GSTIN, make the payment, and get over with GST. As I said earlier, it was just one click of a button that it actually took me to do this GSTR 3B summary. And there are many numbers popping up, and it is genuine to be confused about it. But the moment you click on this number, you will have clarity that the same invoices which was raised in the process earlier or which was showed to you earlier in the sales module are the same invoices which are appearing in my GSTR 3B summary. On the other hand, I would also have a computation of ITC where it is again showing all the invoices for this particular month that I have raised, and that was already shown to you under the purchase or bills module. That's how easy and seamless the GST integration or GST filing has become in today's day and age, guys. And there is one more important pain point that most of us would actually have a problem with, where, figuring out which is the input tax credit that has been coming or availed by me in my books versus what is the actual input tax credits that has been made available in the GST portal. This typically takes a person or a resource who is actually capable of doing reconciliation, who is having compliance knowledge, who is also good with numbers, to be deployed for hours and hours together and do a hard number crunching exercise to find out which is actually that particular invoice which is missed out of your system. But with Zoho, all that you need to do again is a click of a button where you can see there is an IMS dashboard where you have a summary which actually says which of these transactions is matched, which is partially matched, and which is missing in Zoho Books. Currently, you will not have an exact reflection of things because this is a demo account and we have not tagged upon any GST IN to this particular account. So that is the reason that you cannot see any numbers that is being actively appearing. But once the moment that Zoho is being deployed exclusively to your businesses, all that the particular accountant needs to do is click on the IMS invert summary or invert supply and actually verify the dashboard. The classification or the classification or the locating of the particular invoice or the particular entry is just minutes. It's just happening in minutes, where earlier it used to take probably hours or more number of hours for actually plotting that one single entry or actually sending it to in the form of communication or communicating it with your higher authorities, or this is how Zoho is actually saving a lot of time and bringing efficiency to your finance teams. The next demo is actually perhaps about the P2P and O2C cycles. I would like to invite upon my colleague, Mr. Suchendra, to actually step up and actually, throw some light on this P2P and O2C cycles and how Zoho Books is actually integrating these cycles with day-to-day operation and governance. Over to you, Suchendra.
Oh, thanks, Venkat. So the next part, what we are dealing here is about P2P and O2C, where finance team deals on their daily basis. I would like to show you a small demo of it on a live basis. Yeah. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Yeah. So the P2P cycle in Zoho Books starts with purchase order, then you have a bill, and then a GRN, and then you have the payment leg. So when you talk about purchase order, that's something where you create a purchase order by selecting a particular vendor. Then you select the number of the goods which you want to order, the number of quantity, and the rates are prefetched already by the system's input. And then you create a purchase order. Purchase order can be sent via email to the vendor directly through an email feature, which is inbuilt available in Zoho Books itself. Now, once a purchase order is created, the next leg will be your GRN, where you receive the number of goods, whatever is ordered. Accordingly, you can receive the purchase order by giving a purchase receipt, which is nothing called as GRN in general terms. And then you can create your GRN. And then once the GRN is created, the subsequent leg of this process can be bill, which you can directly convert it to bill without entering any external details, just by entering a bill number received from the vendor and the item number, quantity, rates exactly matches with the purchase order which you already created. If there is a mismatch, the system automatically gives us saying there's a mismatch between your quantity ordered versus quantity billed or quantity received, which can be reconciled subsequently. And that's how, with the click of button, a P2P order, a P2P cycle of purchase order, a GRN, and a bill can be created in Zoho Books. As Venkat was mentioning in the earlier session about banking module, now the bill is in the payment queue, which can be subsequently paid using your banking module alongside. Now, this is about your P2P cycle. in addition to the three layers which I'm talking about, that is purchase order, a GRN, and a bill and a payment, there is also another leg called purchase request, which can be added before even a purchase order comes into the picture. But there's a separate model called Zoho procurement, and which deals with that leg. We'll discuss that about in our next session of webinars. So right now we'll stick to our purchase order to a payment cycle. And that's how your purchase order cycle is going to be there in Zoho Books. And then you talk about OTC cycle, that is your order to cash, where you can create your sales order. Once your sales order is created, I'll just show. Yeah, whenever you got an order, you can create a sales order here manually by selecting any customer. And again, you just have to give the number of items you're ordering with respect to the quantity and rates. And then again, you can send an email to the customer by click of a button. And then your sales order is in place. Now you know that there's a sales order to be fulfilled within your this thing. So, and then you can actually create a partial fulfillment of a complete fulfillment of a sales order. And once the sales order is completely fulfilled, you can directly convert this to an invoice by just a click of a button. Okay, and that's how, and this is how easy O2C cycle is in Zoho Books. So, and then other leg can be your receipt, which again goes to your banking module. Whenever you receive a payment, receive a payment from your customer, the same can be mapped against this particular invoice, and you can finish your O2C cycle in such an easy way. Over to you, Venkat. I am assuming this is a P2P cycle and O2C cycle. I'll take up questions about these cycles in the end of this session. Parallelly, you guys, if you have any questions, you can drop out in the Q&A session now. We'll take up this in some time. Over to you, Venkat. Thanks.
So, thank you, Sachendra. Thank you for this beautiful insight of yours. And coming back to the whole presentational aspect of things again, where we already got a demo about how P2P and O2C cycle works. The next is actually viewing Zoho Books using a advisor's lens, or probably using a chartered accountant or an auditor's lens. After having to cover most of this aspects of a business owner and actually accounting team, the auditor's lens is actually the one which is most undermined in recent times and with legacy systems, with respect to legacy systems. Currently, when an auditor or audit actually takes place or happens within an organization, typically there is this one resource or one personnel who is actually entrusted with this job of fetching all the reports or fetching all the particular invoices or the bills that the audit team is actually requesting for. And his or her whole duty would always be liaising with the audit team. And apart from this, audit team also has this questioning of multiple layer or multiple compliance related aspects. And the questions can arise from various departments, or it also has a, it also is a very complex landscape to navigate across. Now, with deployment of Zoho, let's actually look at a live demo as in what are the key features that actually helps making the audit and the whole audit team's life easier, as well as the business and the stakeholders' life easier. Again, coming back to this books module, we already had gist of all the other modules. Now there is this particular module under reports. All that I need to type is audit trial. See, this reports under the audit trial report. This is a beautiful feature where all the activities done or made across using all the users or the login, along with the timestamp and the date stamp, is captured by Zoho Books. This is a feature that every auditor would actually look forward for and would actually request to the accounting team, but accounting team will have no clue as in how to actually consolidate the audit trail and show them what is the changes that has been done over the course of the financial year, or when was that particular change made. On the contrary, after deploying Zoho Books, you need not worry about any single thing of this, because every action using every login is actually recorded and logged into your system by this option called audit trail, and it is accessible at any point of time. Now you can see that repetitively my name is appearing in all these logins because it's just a demo account again. and I'm using only my login to do all the activities, and that's the reason you're seeing the names across. But if not otherwise, you would actually see the name of the person who's responsible. And how it is actually plotting names is how the user and the role is being deployed to the particular organization or particular Zoho Books. As you can see under the settings module, there is something called users and roles again. Let's dig into the aspect of roles, where I create new role and I give this roles access as an auditor, right? All that I need to do is to configure the backend access as in what is the level of control or the level of authority that I need to give my auditor to the books. For example, the legacy systems or the other systems don't support the attachments for any particular entry or most of the particular entries which is underlying for a particular entry, right? So now in case you have a PO, you can have a PO as Suchendra actually discussed, an invoice, and also vendor related document under one solution or one umbrella called Zoho Books. And all this documentation which is underlying a particular entry can be verified by auditor by again using a click of a button. This is actually possible when you actually rightly configure the backend access and give this access to the auditor's end, and there is no to and fro that you need to do for documents or for communication. Every report, every access for every document is already within Zoho Books. There is another standalone feature which I want to demonstrate as a benefit to the CA or the auditing community with respect to Zoho Books and how it can bring about to table. This is what is called transaction locking. Often in a small business or probably a medium-sized business, we have this problem of entries being backdated or entries being dated in particular period which is it shouldn't have been recorded it, or probably once the financial year is actually closed and you're passing entries for a particular period for which it is already closed. These kind of errors can actually be smartly avoided using Zoho Books by this simple feature called transaction locking. All that I need to do is go to transaction locking, click on the lock option for this particular sales module, enter the date from which it has to be locked. In my case, let's assume it's the last day of financial year, and I'll give the reason to be audit closed. And with a click of a button, I can ensure that no login or no user or no role is actually changing or tampering with the data that is being done under the module for the closed financial year or after, that is before 31st of March 2026. This lock can be unlocked without any particular authoritative person giving his approval for the unlock. This is how strict governance and strict system is actually being ensured by Zoho at various places. These are one of those many features that actually Zoho is capable of. Alongside, I would also like to give a small gist or walkthrough about the reporting functions or aspects of Zoho Books. When it comes to reports, many legacy systems already support us with cash flow statements, balance sheets, usual balance sheets on a particular day, or the P&L statements. But the standalone features of Zoho Books is that it gives me module-based or parameter-based reporting. You have sales module-based reporting where the parameters can change. See, the parameter can be sales by customer, sales by an item, sales by a salesperson, or for any criteria for that matter. All that you need to do is click on this report and every data is already pre-filled, readily available for you to download, to be downloaded under any format that you want. Because the configuration of Zoho Books is such in that every data is actually fed into the system of accounting systems, and it is readily converted into readily available reports using multiple parameters to actually help and support interpretation and reporting at various levels. Be it a reporting level to a stakeholder, be it a reporting to a board of director, be it a reporting that you need to do an auditor. Every parameter is actually closely washed and composed into this accounting statement or ecosystem. So all that you need to do now is just click off a button and you will get every type of report with all the parameters already pre-filled in it. Aging reports, sales reports, payments reports, purchase reports, and also 2B and 3B reports. Anything related to compliance, reporting, accounting, as I said earlier, any report required by any three lens of the people, it's available within a click of a button. Toggling back to the presentation, currently, we would also like to tell you how actually switching looks like. Now that I have discussed most of the factors of how Zoho is actually standing out from various legacy systems or maybe from other softwares that you are using, the main question that actually strikes to your mind to most of you is that Now that we know how Zoho is working, I need to actually transform into Zoho. Is it going to be complex? Is it going to be easy? All right. So in order to put actually things into perspective, there is broadly 4 steps that actually involves in actually transcending you from an existing software to Zoho software. The first and foremost steps is actually data input, because you will already have certain years and years of data that is being stored in the legacy system. We will transfer the data as a particular numbers with respect to opening balance and closing balances into Zoho system and actually keep the base layer ready. Next is the parallel run. Parallel run is an important aspect of a system, or the whole process is where we parallelly run your legacy system alongside with Zoho system and check if there is any discrepancies. If the sales according to your legacy system is reported to be 100, I should also be able to achieve the same figure in my Zoho books, right? This is the importance of parallel runs, and according to the suitability of your accounting team or probably suitability to your nature of business, the parallel runs period might vary. Once the accounting team is actually comfortable and we are assuring that there is no discrepancy that is arising in the course of parallel run, then starts the staff training part, where the slow locus of control is actually fading from the ProLead team to actually coming to the accounting team of your particular business. ProLead team slowly starts taking its hands off operations, trains your staffs, tells how the day in to day out operation is happening in Zoho, tells how easy and seamless the integrations are working, and trains them for a particular period of time before handing over or making it go live. The last step obviously is to go live, right? By go live, we mean that totally now the entire system that was already used or all the older software is entirely being scrapped. After that particular go live period, there is no work of that software to do rather than just supporting you for the closing numbers. From the go live date, any and every operation that is happening will be happening with Zoho Books. So we ensure that this is a smooth transition and rather not a knee-jerk decision which is taken overnight to just shift your books from one software to another software. And there is going to be a lot of dilemma between various organizations and departments, and it will all go down the drain. We at ProLead will always ensure that it's very smooth and seamless, and it's a process with multi-level department, with multi-level operations, and multiple facilities can actually easily comply. So we sit with you, understand the nature of your business, customize the solution, customize the runway according to what it takes for your business to adapt, and then get into actually these 4 stages of conversion, or rather switching is what I would say. And I would also like to say that Zoho is not just limited to Zoho Books. Zoho Books is just one tool or one aspect of what Zoho is capable of. Zoho is actually an ecosystem, as Keshav has said, and they have the capabilities of the system speaking to one another. Say, for example, I have a payroll module, I have a people module, and I also have a books module. Any entry that is being made in the payroll module or configured in the payroll module, or after processing certain payrolls or payment runs in the payroll module, the automatic effect of the accounting entry will be seamlessly integrated with the Zoho Books module. To show or to know more about Zoho ecosystem and to give us a quick walkthrough about how the whole ecosystem looks like, I would request to Suchendra to step in again, to actually step into the webinar again and give us few pointers in this aspect.
Thanks, Venkat. So far, whatever you're discussing about is Zoho Books, which is actually a part of the entire Zoho ecosystem. So to be specific about the pointers, if you're looking at your finance functions, you can look at your Zoho Books. In finance function, if you want your payroll functions to parallelly run along with your Zoho Books accounting, there's a tool called Zoho Payroll. The interesting fact here is the both systems are 2 different modules, but they talk to each other. So any pay run or a pay cycle, whichever you have done in Zoho Payroll, once you approve it, the entry of that particular pay run automatically flows through Zoho Books. Similarly, when you're looking at your CRM functions, so wherever there's a customer created in Zoho Books, the same customer is coming to your CRM, so that whatever the CRM functions, whether there's a follow-up with a particular customer or whether there is a offer you need to give at a particular customer, everything related to CRM functions, it works in CRM functions. But Any invoice made to a particular customer, any payment received to a particular customer can be flown to each other. Again, these systems talks to each other. Now we have just looked at our Zoho Books, Zoho Payroll, and CRM. There is Zoho Projects, which deals with your project management tools, and there are Zoho ERP, which is a combination of all of these functions, and there are several other Zoho tools, which eventually we will be talking about them in the coming sessions. But yeah, so the takeaway is simple. Zoho product isn't a standalone tool. It's just an entry point into a much bigger ecosystem. So if you're a startup, you start with one tool. So whenever you scale, you have all of these tools helping together, talking to each other, so that you scale along with your business, and your finance functions doesn't seem complicated with the tools you are having. Yeah, over to you, Venkat.
Thank you, Suchendra, for the particular feed on Zoho ecosystems. And moving forward, we would say that there are many real results where, for probably reporting for a particular manufacturing client or a month closure for a manufacturing client is actually the turnabouts were actually increased. The monthly reporting or the post-month reporting for a particular period, where earlier you used to take 30 days or 25 days plus to give the report for a particular period. Now it is just consuming 7 days. So the efficiency once brought into the table or introduced using Zoho Books, it is actually a scalable model. So no matter how much operations are increasing in nature or incremental in nature, this benchmarks is already set. And when compared to GST, it's actually 60% faster because you have actual reconciliation happening within the system. You have reporting that is compressed in the form of capsule and happening seamlessly integrated within the systems to system. And as we said earlier, Zoho Books is capable of talking to GST and portal and also getting your filing done in seamlessly. So with a combination of all these factors, you can actually save good amount of time as an operational or as an operational person or actually as a finance person of a particular company too. Now that we have come to almost to the end of the session, we would also like to say that if any part of this particular session you actually realize that there are certain processes that we are currently doing manually, be it the GST reconciliation, be it the rising of invoice, or any approvals also for that matter. If at any place you are thinking that this is something that we are doing manually, or there is a scope of improvement, or there is a scope for slight consultation here, please feel free to actually scan this barcode which is currently being displayed and set up a one-on-one meeting to us. See, we at ProLead always believe that the software alone is not the right solution. The software backed up by the right partners, deployed at the right time, is actually the right solution. Because once we at ProLead always believe at business first implementations. We don't actually suggest you the products upfront. We get onto a call, we make a tailor-made solution which is actually compatible to the business pain points that your company is actually going through, and then have a round of discussions, capture the whole process, then suggest the tools that are appropriate. So once you're backed up by this Zoho Books and also having such good reporting mechanism on systems in place, there is always room for efficiency and there is always room for growth. And let's make sure that because of this appointment or because of this particular session, when you're getting into a one-on-one consultation with us, we would make sure that you tap into the fullest of your potentials. Also, I want to say a certain things and I want to rather, conclude this session by saying that it's always doesn't matter that, you need to deploy more Excel or you need to deploy more resources to the particular operations or pain point. It's not about how many people are involved. It's not about, what tools you're using. It's all about how smart or capable the particular software or tool is integrated with your operations. Excel is not designed for business reporting. Any other legacy systems is actually not up to date with your current updates. More number of people is not solution for your quick reporting. Everything has a bottom line, right? If there is a system that is working against a group of people, it is naturally bound to take a lot of time for a work that is going to be completed within minutes. If there is a system that works cohesively and works hand in hand with multiple departments and also makes the multiple layering quite less complex and quite less daunting, that's what will actually be a scalable system, and that brings the turnaround and actually acts as a key lever to your profiting. Many of you might be wondering how even reporting is connected and concerned with the profitability of a company. I would like to say that more the number of efficiency you bring to the operations of your company, the more number of time is freed up from your operations and other aspects. Where rather you would invest this time in something meaningful, and actually convert that into actually meaningful business for your company, right? Moving forward, I would like to say that we are open to questions. There are any questions that you've been holding back so long, or if there is anything in the chat box, please, let us know right now. Me and Suchendra are open to questions rather. It's a rise of hand. Hi, yes, please. Can you're typing your question, or and type in your question, the Q&A. I think you're free to talk now. Now I think it's configured that your mic is also being placed as open.
Hi,
Yes.
Venkat. Hi.
Yes,
Agree.
please tell.
So I have one query. Can we link existing Gmail account to Zoho Mail? Can we link?
Zoho Mail is a separate domain in itself. Like I'm not sure if you're asking about the domain, or what is it that you're asking about?
It's a domain because the client they're already using Gmail account for sending all the mails to the customers, and they are very well known for their Gmail. So now he want to switch to Zoho Mail because he's using the Zoho Books. The clients are using Zoho Books. So can he completely merge the Gmail account?
No, actually, it requires integration with Zoho Click, Zoho Email. You need to get onto the ecosystem actually to use it to the fullest, right? So that mailing, actually, we have a separate session planned for it. We'll cover it in a webinar. But the short answer for that is you need to get into the ecosystem, and you can't entirely convert the Gmail domain. You need to create a particular domain for this mail purpose and probably get into the ecosystem.
Okay, we have to use it as a new mail.
Yes.
Okay, and one more query. Can we pay a bulk payment from Zoho?
See, actually uploading the
I'll take that.
Oh yeah, please.
Venkat.
Yeah, Suchin. Yes.
Yes. So you have an option to choose a number of invoices to be paid, and you can do a bulk payment option. That's available, Chakri.
Okay, even the GST payments?
GST payment is a separate. Right now, GST payments has to be done from GST portal itself, and then you can add that channel in our books. But vendor payments can be done in a bulk.
Okay. And the last question. So regarding this GST, IMC, all these invoices, accepting, rejecting, can we do this in Zoho, or still we have to do it in GST portal?
No. There's a direct integration between Zoho and IMS portal. So you integrate it once, and whenever you create an invoice, that can be pushed directly to IMS portal.
Okay, so we can accept and we can reject.
Yes.
And more last, so reversal of GST input, this 4B1 and 4B2, can we still do in GST portal, or we can still Zoho Books will help? Reversal of ITC.
No. What happens here is, see, reversal of ITC happens either you cancel your invoice, or you do a subsequent credit note against a particular invoice. So whenever you do a particular credit notes against a particular invoice or a bill, that will automatically sit as your reversal of ITC in your GST portal, and the same can be pushed to your GST portal as well. So that depends on the credit note. So if you don't want to do any credit note, still don't want to claim any input, there's a still manual entries which you can still do.
Okay. And
All this
in case
happens
of
in Zoho itself.
Zoho itself. Okay. In case of
Yes.
ineligible ITC,
That's right. So ineligible ITC, how that works is, whenever you're creating a bill, If suppose if the bill is related to any particular ineligible ITC, you have an option to select the ITC itself as ineligible while creating the bill itself. So that automatically sits as ineligible ITC.
Got it. Yeah, that's also
Yeah.
yeah, thanks.
Thanks. I think we have a couple more questions.
We have more questions. Yes, Suchendra. I'll just read it out for you. Maybe this is one relating to inventory. How many types of attributes can we add to items in Zoho inventory? It's a question by Jisha.
No, we can have a different, how items module works is actually there is an item module and that's a unique item and that will have a unique SKU for that particular item. Accordingly, there is something called as item group, which again you can create an item group and then you can add multiple items against that particular group. But each item has to be individual, unique. It will have a separate SKU which is unique from other items.
So the SKU is the differentiator, right? And you can have a particular item and many information related to one particular item under that module, but you can't merge the items is what you're trying.
Yes. Each item has to be unique.
Right. There is another question which says that it's from Raja N. How many bank accounts can we integrate? Can we integrate? Is the question. Yeah.
We can integrate multiple bank accounts. There's no restriction there currently.
Under the books module. There is one more question from Abil Krishnan. Will data flow from IMS to Zoho Books, and how to accept ITC data in IMS through Zoho, which will flow from GSTR 2B?
Yeah. So as Venkat was showing in your GST filing section, there is a specific section for your IMS data wherever you can accept and you can reject. But GSTR 2B automatically flows, but accepting, rejecting flows to our particular GST. We have an option to accept and reject in our IMS section.
There's one more question, actually. 1 second. Yeah. Can we maintain inventory properly where purchase is done in one unit and sold it in another unit? I am assuming it's about the unit of measurement he's talking about. Say, for example, you are buying in one unit of measurement and can you sell it in another question is the question.
Yeah, that's possible, Venkat. So we can buy it in pieces or boxes and we can sell it in pieces. So that change is possible. Yeah.
One more question. It's how can we set up different locations and departments in Zoho Books and allocate income and expenses to each locations or departments?
Okay, there are different departments which we can set up, and each department can have department owners as well. Sorry, the second part of your question was?
It was about branches and departments. How do we allocate income and expense to this particular cost centers, or probably that's what he's trying to ask.
Right. So there is a department or a branch and you can book all of your expenses and incomes by selecting that particular branch. So accordingly, you can see a branch-wise profitability also.
Once you've created the branch, I think it's most easy to ascertain and actually allocate cost and income to the particular branch, Sharad. There is a next question. I think it's very relevant to what we worked on actually. Is there any way to link directly e-commerce invoices and their payments? Example, Razorpay, Shiprocket.
Yeah, we have a direct integration with some of the players in the market. Amazon, Flipkart. Flipkart, I don't think we have it currently. Zoho is working on it. But Amazon, you have, yes. And there is Shiprocket and Razorpay also. Yeah.
Razorpay is also there. Yeah, I think to give some more context, we already have a particular client in the past that we have worked and we have configured these kind of operations and linkages to them, where every receipt that they are getting in is actually reflecting in the books, right, Suchendra?
Yeah, that was a very, very extensive and complex implementation, which has been a good, and the results are good from that, work. And the clients are also happy with the work.
Right. I think there's one more question. We need a Zoho Books expert to visit our office and guide us. Is that possible? Yes, Mr. Raja. I think we at ProLead, me and Suchendra are working out of Bangalore's office. maybe you can connect with us. As I told, there is also mail that we'll be sending to your mail ID. Please let us know or book an appointment or something of that sort, and we will definitely get in touch and see what is the capability or what is the requirement that is there around. Sure. 1 second. I think there's one more question. That receipt will be linked or mapped to an open invoice as well automatically. Will that be is what his question, I think. I'm assuming. So for example, he's asking from ShipRocket or from for Razorpay, for example, if you're getting a receipt that is inward, will that be actually mapped to an invoice automatically? And he's posing a question.
No, it doesn't automatically match, but at least you will get an invoice and you'll also get a payment against that particular invoice, which we can see that this is against a particular invoice and we have to manually match it, but it automatically does not.
There is a manual intervention required there, Mr. Amit, but yeah, it is possible. Yeah. I think we have covered the expert visit questions. Yeah. Is there any other questions? We are still open to questions. As I said earlier, please feel free to get in touch with us. You can write to us. You can also book a consultation. We are always open for consultations and giving out a free one-to-one call where we are more focused on what is the result that would be benefiting your particular business. I'm assuming the questions are wrapped. Can we all do a small poll right now because we are at the end of the session? We have 2 particular poll questions and I'm starting both the polls right now. First poll is, what is the Zoho product or the tool that you're interested for your organization or to be deployed into your organization? Out of all the particular Zoho tools that Suchendra and I have been discussing all these times, I request all the people who are in the webinar or part of the webinar to please vote. What is the product that you're interested in? This will actually help us grasp the pulse of the audience.
I see there is one more raise of hand.
Is there? Mr. Raja has raised his hand, but there were many questions that we are answered with relation to him. Raja, if there is any question, please put it in the chat box. Okay, there's one more question. In the Zoho Books, vendor credits to supplier get posted to the prepaid expense ledger by default. Since there are 2 conceptually different things, that is an advance to supplier versus general prepaid expense like rent or insurance, is there a way to redirect the separate advance from suppliers ledgers instead? And if we change the setting, does it apply retrospectively? I think retrospectively to existing balances or only to the new ongoing transactions? This is from Adityan.
Yeah, so no, we can actually change the settings to park it to a different ledger, all the general prepaid expenses, but the retrospective effect will not be happening.
I think retrospectively it won't happen, but the moment you are the moment you are classifying this transaction as a prepaid expense or a vendor credit, it actually shows a pencil icon next to the prepaid expense dashboard that is dropping, right? So once you click on that, it will give you the liberty to choose between whichever account that you want. So that will, again, as Suchendra said, it's not retrospective in nature. Okay,
you might have to go back and edit a particular bill, then it will work. Just go edit and then save.
Right. So yes, thank you. Many of you have voted with books, ERP, payroll, and CRM. Thank you. And I'm also having one more poll question to all of you. I would request you to again, please. Done. Okay. Sorry, the other poll is also already done. Many of you have voted for projects, ERP, payroll, CRM, inventory. Okay, Zoho desks also we have an voter. I'm publishing the result for the same. Perfect. Yeah, I think we have corrected all your response. At this point of time, we have answered most of your questions too. I hope we didn't. Yeah, all the questions that has been put in the chat box has been answered. I would like to extend a moment of thanks especially to Suchendra and to Keshav sir to stepping into this Zoho webinar session and actually helping me with most of these aspects. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Suchendra. And for the people who actually attended today, I know and I do realize that it's a working day, and to take the time of your working day and actually attend this webinar and to make it a grand success, I thank each and every one of you who attended this webinar. And I can see the participation is actually very interesting, and you guys are also having to ask more questions, and you've been interactive throughout the session, which makes us more happier and even more enthusiastic to help you out. We would also like to mention that this is not the last webinar, or this is just a standalone webinar. This is a series of webinars that we are trying to do. As you're all aware that now Zoho Books is just first installment of this whole webinar, and going on further, we are planning to have webinars for Zoho ERP, Zoho projects. There are many tools that requires a lot of deep study analogy to get in front of you, and actually they are capable of solving multi-level problems easily. So I request each one of you who is attending this webinar to actually attend the other webinars, attend the other upcoming tools of Zoho, also get to know what are the capabilities and how actually the market is well advanced and equipped to take up your requests. That is one leg of it. The other leg of it, I would like to request that please share the webinar link to as much as people that you think they might be required of. So for example, if you're a business owner, you have another owner or a stakeholder who would actually be requirement of all these tools, or properly, it can bring up a perspective of requirement to any one of them. We would be happy to connect with as many people as we can. And please gather around and please actually register to our upcoming webinars. Keep an eye out for it, and support us the way that you have already been supporting us with this webinar. And we would also be continuing to host many webinars, and stay in touch with us. And basically, these are the two things that we needed to tell from the vote of thanks perspective. And I think with this, we can come to the end of this session. We hope we have answered all your questions. From Team ProLead and from everyone in Team ProLead, on behalf of them, I thank everyone who has attended the webinar, and I wish them all the best for their future endeavors. Thank you so much, team.
Thanks for that.